Ooh wee, that is hotter than usual. What the heck happened? Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna let that one simper for a little bit. Now, simper is something I just made up on the spot. I have no idea what that means, but Patriots, it's good to see you. Hopefully, you're having a nice. Is it Thursday? What's today? It is Thursday. Holy lordy! Appreciate you guys bearing with me for yesterday. If you're wondering where I was, well, I had some Trader Joe's, the gumbo, or is it jambalaya? It was one or the other the night before. And I thought I was living like a king. I thought I was feeling good. I woke up at midnight, specifically 12:04. Who's paying attention? And oh boy, I was getting the McGurgles. I was getting the McSweats. Your boy was not feeling good whatsoever. So yeah, I was not feeling good. Rumblies and the tumblies, folks. And so did not sleep well. Figured, you know what? I'm gonna sleep until a whopping 6:15. I know, like, oh wow, guy, Brad really slept in. But that's why we weren't here yesterday. I could have sent out a tweet like, oh, we're not going to do a show. I probably should have done that. But yeah, just wanted to feel better for work. So anyways, yeah, I feel way better. Especially as like the day went on, my stomach just like kind of came back together, which was nice. Alrighty, well, today we got a lot of news to cover, so let's jump right into it. We're going to first look at the Trump administration's playbook to root out government fraud. Would have loved this maybe in day one or 1 through 100, but we'll take what we can get. President Donald Trump's anti-fraud task force, which I believe is being headed by JD Vance, if I remember correctly, is delivering its opening marching orders this week in a memo, there you go, from Vice President JD Vance, obtained first by the Daily Wire. The memo outlines a 4-part plan that includes more prosecutions, I'll believe it when I see it, better prevention methods, I'll believe it when I see it, and targeting programs that are most ripe for abuse. Now, they got to be careful with this because what are they going to say, guys? We always know this. Be prepared for it. They're racist, they're sexist, they're misogynist, like any name in the book, they're going to go with it because they're targeting programs that have the most fraud. And maybe those programs, I'm saying the word maybe, might be Somali. Oh, he's going after the Somalis. He's racist against Somalis. Or oh, it just so happens to be a bunch of Koreans. Oh, he's racist against Koreans. Or maybe it's a bunch of white people. Oh, he's racist against white. Well, you can't be racist against white people, according to the left. And that's where their brain really starts getting confused on how they're going to work with that one. The newly minted task force's primary objective is to stop fraud that is bleeding the federal government dry, robbing taxpayers and denying honest Americans the services for which they have paid. How much you want to bet the left's going to be screaming on the street corners again? All for this fraud. They love this stuff. How do I know? As I've always said for years, they keep voting for it. According to the memo, which comes from Vance and the FTC chairman, Andrew Ferguson, says the Tackling Fraud Across Public Programs memorandum is directed to members of the anti-fraud team, which includes White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, who is just the guy's a wizard, man. The guy's great, Stephen Miller. The task force plans to prosecute those committing fraud and to recover as much fraudulently obtained money as it can. Thank you. Now, when you prosecute these guys, JD, not only can you throw them in prison for us for a very long time so they can't do this again, and it teaches a lesson to other people, but can you also just completely siphon everything from them so that we can get our money back? Because I don't steal anything. I don't take people's money, right? You guys donate stuff, but that goes back into the show. I buy software, I could buy equipment, all that stuff. But I don't fraudulently do it. I don't go and manipulate you and stuff like that, like these people do. I want the money back, JD, Steven, everybody over there, Andrew. So they plan on prosecuting those committing fraud and to recover as much fraudulently obtained money as it can, focusing on high spend, low verification programs. It acknowledges that recovering money lost to fraud is exceptionally difficult. That is true. No. It's not exceptionally difficult. See, the people that did the fraud, you just take their money. If they were so okay with it happening to other people, then they should be okay with it happening to themselves, right? I mean, it makes sense to me. Let me know if it makes sense to you in the chat. I see you guys. Good morning, everybody. And therefore emphasizes the need to improve prevention methods to stop the money from flowing out in the first place. Correct. Gee, stop the bleeding, kind of like what we did with the border. Yeah, I mean, it's just common sense. I know that's really gone out the window here in the, was it anything past 2020? Common sense is gone, maybe even before. I'm sure it's before. Now, check this out. This is a doozy. I hope you're sitting down. If you need to pull over, now's the time to do it, because according to the memo, the federal government loses about $250 billion annually to fraud and only recovers $10 billion of it due to the pay and chase method of government payments. But don't worry, let's make government bigger. It's just so efficient. It's so good. You want to know the only efficient government program that I've seen so far in my lifetime is Doge. And by the way, that's supposed to end on July 4th this year. And I hate to say it, but it better end. If it's one of those programs, oh, we're going to keep it going, it's really rooting out stuff, we need more time. You said July 4th, 2026, man. Look, I get it. But you had your time. Should have hired more people if you couldn't get it done in time. You said July 4th, 2026, you're opening a government program. We always know how this works. They open up a government program. It never shuts down. It gets more expensive, blah, blah, blah. Now, the memo identifies 3 primary reasons to significantly increase fraud prosecutions. The American people's right to justice, of course. Thank you. How is it all these illegals and everybody else gets justice, but we never get justice on our end? It's our freaking country, man. The need to establish deterrence against fraud and the need for accountability, which has completely gone out the window regarding that accountability. How many times have we talked about this on the show? Where's the accountability? You go rob up a joint, no cash bail, nothing happens to you, you're fine, don't worry, slap on the wrist. You're just trying to get your life together. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to feed your family. He went down the trash bag aisle. The guy stole a whole aisle of trash bags and lipstick and deodorant. What do you mean he's trying to feed his family? What, are they eating deodorant and plastic? The widespread fraud, try to say that at 6 a.m., has not been committed by isolated bad actors. Large and powerful networks have furthered this fraud. The American people have a right to know how the fraud problem has gotten so bad, and prosecutions will shed light on how this happened. You got to throw people in the brig for a long time. How long do you think this prison sentence should be? Like federal prison. How long, folks? What are we looking at here? 10 years? 20 years? But, then you get somebody down the road later on that will just go, it's a little too harsh. They didn't really know what they're doing. They weren't really just cashing in. Suspicious. It says here, we cannot litigate ourselves out of the fraud problem. Correct. Research findings show that over 1 million suspicious paycheck protection programs, PPP loans, and more than 2,000 suspicious durable medical equipment companies. That's it? Wow. No problems here, folks. Let's look the other way. Unbelievable. So yeah, they're going to go after that stuff. We'll see. It's just more of an update on this since Trump announced JD was going to kind of take it over. And you know what? This is a big test for JD because you'd imagine that he's going to run for president for 2028, right? And if he falls short on this, I ain't going to be happy. I'm not going to be super stoked about it. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens with JD taking the reins on this project. And if it doesn't go well, then that's going to be a problem for him because people are going to point towards that and say, look, I love what you do mostly, but when you were taking the reins of this whole thing to speak on behalf of the American people and get things figured out, you didn't. And I ain't happy about it. I told you, man, I got a deadline and the deadline is coming up. It's less than a year when stuff better get done or, I might be registering as an independent. And I'm not kidding. I'm as serious as a heart attack. And you guys know that. Me no likey. I want stuff done. And it better get done. Save Act better get done. Alrighty. Let's get into some more news here. Oh, I gotta go back to this. Hold on a second. I gotta show you guys this. I'm gonna get flagged, which sucks. I freaking YouTube needs to figure their policies out. You have this Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, the whole gambit from The View is back in business here. I'm so amazed at this country. I mean, America really is the greatest place. And I'm beating a dead horse with this phrase, but man, the fact that you can go on a legacy television show, I think they're with ABC, right? I'm pretty sure because it's always Disney that's the one that flags me. And you could just spew a bunch of nonsense. I mean, absolute just silliness and get paid millions. What a blessing. You know what I mean? And people are watching it. They're watching it. Yeah. So Whoopi Goldberg took a moment during Wednesday's broadcast of The View to lecture War Secretary Pete Hegseth about what it means to be a soldier. Arguing that he should know what he is subjecting service members to when they deployed to the Middle East. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. By the way, I don't even have to be a soldier to know what people are being subjected to. You know what you have? You have the internet. Yep. You have war videos that you could go look at. You have documentaries that you could listen to actual people that have been in combat, the repercussions of it, the outgrowths, the everything. If you weren't able to do that, if you weren't able to understand certain scenarios and situations to a really good extent, when you're not the one that's actually going through those situations or to the extent of which those situations are occurring, then why look at history? Why read anything? Why have books? Goldberg and her co-hosts insisted, as they have previously, that President Donald Trump's administration launched Operation Epic Fury, unleashed American military force on the Iranian regime without first planning for contingencies. How do you know? Like, how do you, I don't even know. How do you know that? So I don't know. They always do this like order thing weird. So I think it's this one maybe.
At this point, I want them to stop what they're doing. They are sending people in to die. They are sending people in to die. And I'm surprised because Hegseth served.
Yes, he did.
He served. He should know.
That's what I said yesterday. He should know. He should know better than anybody.
Yes, better than anybody. And yet, when you listen to, stop looking so angry. He should know more than anybody what it takes.
I very rarely have ever seen her smile. She always looks angry. Look at all the photos of her on The View that are on Google Images, Getty Images. It doesn't matter. She always looks angry. Why are you throwing shade at the Secretary of War? If anything, that's the guy you want to look angry. That's the guy you want. You want a guy that's smiling all the time? A guy that looks like just a happy-go-lucky guy? Or do you want a guy that looks like a person you don't mess with? What are you talking about?
To be a soldier in our army. What it means when you send people in. When you send them in with a plan, it's horrific. You send them in without a plan.
Oh, God, here we go.
Willy-nilly and you not explaining what's going on.
Correct.
Fathers, sons, mothers, daughters, sisters, brothers. These are all our American citizens who are being asked to do this. And because of the way the military is.
She's concerned about American soldier members. I appreciate that. But you want to know something? Why don't you be concerned about American citizens as well on top of that, with the fact that you voted for a guy, meaning Joey, to allow millions of people to pour across our borders. It's so amazing. All of a sudden we care about the soldiers and the troops. Didn't care when Joe Biden treated them like crap. Remember that? How he had them sleeping in a freaking parking structure. Y'all remember that one? And then Joe Biden came and really did a cleanup mess. Really clean up job there, folks. Passing out cookies. Give me a freaking break.
They will do what they're asked to do.
So, Whoopi, that's what I was trying to say. Just to clarify, we have the best. They're doing what they're told, and that's why I say they are the best of us.
That's why nobody's angry with that.
Yes.
That's why
it's not their fault.
No, it's not their fault. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But damn it, I would rather this was in the hands of people who actually cared about them enough to say, I'm going to do everything I can for you not to be in a place where you.
So there's definitely some issues with that there. Flaunting a profound ignorance of how casualty numbers are reported, Whoopi claims that the U.S. is like Iran and is hiding and manipulating casualty numbers, suggesting there are more dead people than have been reported. Haynes falsely claims there are already massed troops on the ground.
Is regardless of what Iran is saying about whether the president's spoken to them or not, I don't trust the feedback of President Trump. I really don't trust Iran either, because the kind of regimes over there, they send out propaganda, they manipulate numbers of what's happening.
Like we've been doing.
Well, you exaggerate success while hiding the failure. So I actually don't have a lot of faith. It makes me nervous right now that now we have troops on the ground. Because when it was first this campaign and you thought, okay, let's see what happens, it's the exit plan
and that's why.
Okay. All righty. Well, after first asserting that the United States was manipulating the numbers to hide the number of American troops who already deployed to the Middle East and the number of those who have been hurt or killed, Goldberg asserted that there was still no plan in place for Operation Epic Fury. Yeah, they just like somehow just got all our jets and stuff over there and working with the Israelis and maybe some other counterparts to, go do some stuff. Yeah, he's just like shooting from the hip. Yeah, Trump doesn't know what he's doing. It's just silliness. But that's what they get paid for, folks. That's what they get paid for. Now, there is some changes being made to the Army. And there's not much here that I want to cover. It's just the fact that the war in Iran is in its 3rd week. Again, it should be ending its 4th week according to the plan. I'll believe it when I see it. Well, the U.S. Army is raising the enlistment age to 42. I'll be honest, I thought it was 42 already. Maybe it was 35. Maybe it was 35. No, I think it was 35, so 42. Man, for some reason, 42, I wasn't really shocked when I saw this number. I was like, oh yeah, I thought I heard that from somebody years and years ago. Hearing that news makes me want to pull out the banjo and start playing the old Guthrie song, The Draft Dodger Rag. Have you ever heard of that? So a lot of people are worried that there's going to be some sort of draft or something like that because the age of enlistment's going up to 42. It just gives people an opportunity later on in life. Maybe they figure, you know what, like life's not going my way. I can enlist, kind of get yourself cleaned up and join that way. Or maybe just later on in life, you're like, you know, I never served and I want to serve. And now you got till 42 to join the Army. So you got that there for you. A little tough because at that age, you know, you probably have a family. You know, you're working for retirement at that point. You get your 401k building. That'd be a little bit of tough to kind of deviate away from your career. But like I said, it's a great opportunity for those that just need to get themselves picked up, you know, where you can't find work, you can't find a job. Maybe you just don't have the I don't want to say personality, but the traits, you know what I mean? And the Army, the military is supposed to kind of whip you up into shape. And a lot of people know what I'm talking about. There's people that don't go into necessarily serve the country. They go into get themselves figured out and need somebody to do it for them. And that's also why the reason you want a really powerful, strong, no BS military force with these boot camps is because not only do you want that to take place, but obviously you want people to whip you up into shape so that you stay alive on the battlefield. I don't particularly want guys storming the beaches in skirts, you know, girls' tennis skirts. It's not a fun thing. Well, we got this here. Loyola student paper called the murder suspect illegal and then apologized. Oh, okay. Well, let's see here. Loyola University Chicago's newspaper. It's a student newspaper to be specific. Now, do you think this is going to be left-leaning? I mean, I kind of gave it away a little bit with the title of the article here. But just the fact that it's Chicago, you're already thinking, oh boy, this is going to be some lefty stuff. The Loyola Phoenix issued an apology and a lengthy editor's note after initially identifying the suspect in a freshman Sheridan Gorman's murder as an illegal immigrant. Well, was the person a legal immigrant? The paper's original headline read, quote, "Immigrant man charged in murder of Sheridan Gorman, DHS involved." So that was the title, immigrant man. And the story correctly identified the suspect, okay, as an illegal immigrant. So he was. Medina, there's a name for you, 25, is a Venezuelan national who the Department of Homeland Security said had been living in the United States illegally. So what's the issue here? The paper later edited the story to identify Medina. I hand to God, I'm not stuttering. That is really what it says here. Medina, Fafina, as simply a Rogers Park resident. They always do stuff like this, don't they? He's a Maryland man, right? They always got to change this. There's a great book by Michael Knowles called Speechless. And that's what they do. They take hold of the words being utilized on paper, on text, on the screen, however you want to phrase it. And that's how people don't get the information they need. Oh, it's just a resident, just a local person. Been here for 50 years. Yeah, just a good guy sweeping up the curbs. Yeah, he takes care of Miss Park's grass down the street. She's too old to figure it out herself. Well, the Rogers Park resident and included a lengthy editor's note apologizing for the previous characterization. It's mind-boggling. That headline didn't reflect the most important elements in the story, and it was taken down minutes later to prevent any further harm to the affected community members. Oh my God. Additionally, in the body of the original post, we described the man who was charged as an illegal immigrant using language provided by the Department of Homeland Security. That language does not align with Associated Press style, nor does it align with the values of this newspaper. No human existence is illegal, and we quickly changed our wording to reflect that. This is totally reminiscent of all those white people that were kissing the feet of a bunch of black people apologizing to them. Do you guys remember that? Where they're like, looked like they're at like some park, and it was on like I don't know if it was on grass or cement, and they're like kissing the feet of like all the black people, like they're apologizing for like the racism of other people, even though those people that are kissing the feet of the black people aren't racist themselves, most likely, but they're just apologizing for the injustices that happened to black people in the past, even though the people that are currently getting their feet touched and kissed aren't actually receiving any injustices against them. So crazy. Anyways, the White House issued a statement on the murder, blaming liberal sanctuary city policies that protect illegal aliens in the cities like Chicago. A preventable strategy. Sheridan Gorman was murdered by an illegal alien released into the U.S. in 2023 under the Biden administration. Of course. Is every illegal happening under the Biden administration? No, but it sure seems like a lot of them are committing the crimes here that we constantly see. And this was a crime that was 100% preventable. See, people don't understand when you use percentages in terms of statistics. I mean, 100% means it is certain that this could have not happened. Certain. Do you want to know why? Is because the person should have never been here in the first place. That's where the certainty comes from. So if Medina is still in Guatemala, is it any way, shape, or form feasible for Medina, who's in Guatemala, to be going after Sheridan Gorman in the United States? Is it physically possible? No, it's not. But because these people have their pigtails on and wired so freaking weird with their Trump derangement syndrome, for them, they'll say yes. In the same way, if I showed you this mug and I said this mug is purely black and white, they will say, no, that is red. And they will pretzel themselves into some way, shape, or form, saying, well, the wavelengths of the light that's hitting it is technically absorbing a certain amount of light, and there is an element of red in there, and there is an element of red in your room that's being cast off that. So I would say the red that's on your screen somewhere, in effect, is reflecting off the surfaces of your mug. And so there is red there, and so thus it is red. It's just like, shut up. I don't have time for your crap. You know what I mean? Those are people that honestly you just roll your eyes at, and you just try to go deaf. Gas prices are going through the roof. Something we talked about a lot. What's going to happen here? What's going on with it? Still $6.99 yesterday that I saw. I've seen pictures of $8, close to $9. I'm sure it's still way cheaper where you guys are at. But Trump is allegedly moving to address the rising gas prices as the Iran war disrupts it. Well, the EPA temporarily is set to cut regulations on fuel blended with ethanol in an effort to address gas prices, which have soared in recent weeks due to the ongoing conflict in Iran. Oh, they could just do that, huh? The EPA could just cut regulations to make things cheaper for all of us? Oh, I'll be damned. That's unbelievable. No, I was kind of under the impression they couldn't do things like that. Wait. So we could be just doing this across the board, and everything would be kind of be cheaper. Wow. Incredible. President Trump's EPA said on Wednesday that it is waiving federal restrictions to allow the nationwide sale of gas blended with 15%, commonly referred to as E15. The sale of E15 is barred in much of the United States during the summer months to cut back on air pollution. You think the Chinese care about air pollution? You think about India cares about air pollution? You think these celebrities care about air pollution when they're taking all their jets to the Oscars, to the Golden Globes, to Davos? Really? You're going to lecture all of us at the bottom? Yeah, okay, sure. The EPA is also removing all federal impediments on the sale of E10 gas. The Trump administration's move to free up the sale of E10 and E15 gas is set to take effect on May 1st. So we got a while till that happens. It remained in place until May 20th. And it could be extended is what they're saying. That's not long enough. Now, here's the problem. You kind of have a giveaway here. What do I mean by that? Remember, the initial plan for Operation Epic Fury of Iran was the idea that it was going to be kind of a 4-week thing. You go in, you blow some stuff out, you get the bad guys done away with, and you bring the boys home. Oh, fine. Don't want boots on the ground. Whatever. Don't want a war. Just want peace, man. Just want to live out my life in harmony. But here's the thing. If he's talking about this taking effect May 1st to May 20th, there's two things. One, we ain't leaving after 4 weeks. Two, he's already acknowledging that there's going to be long-term effects to this whole thing. And this is the long-term effects that he's trying to take care of. The weird thing is that he has a deadline up until May 20th. I don't know why you threw that number out there to leave it to the 20th. Not really sure. It's kind of a little odd to me. I would say there is no end date. Just make it May 1st. Hell, I would start this April 1st if it were me. I'm not the president. I'm not the EPA. But that is a little bit worrisome that we're talking all the way in May right now. Very well could be the long-term effects of this whole thing going on. So you have there. Gas prices climbed to the national average of nearly $4 per gallon this week, marking the highest nationwide average since 2022. Which you expect. I don't want to pay high gas prices. Granted, I don't really go out too much, but some people do. Some people drive a lot. I mean, can you imagine all the businesses that are being ran? Especially, we always forget because a lot of people think about these corporations, right? Because they always go to the Targets, the Walmarts, these places, these huge chains, these corporations, but they forget that the majority of businesses are small businesses in America, 20 employees or less. And they're the ones that are really paying the price on this because their margins aren't drastic. So you have that. The mom and pops are the ones, the people like us. We're the ones that take the hit here. Your employees are driving everywhere to get to places, and you got to charge more for the customer. So not only is the customer paying more at the pump for themselves, but now they're paying more for whatever good or service they're receiving because prices are so high. And that's going to run into a big issue with the midterms, because if you recall, what was it, like a month or two ago, we were talking about how the midterms is going to be all about affordability. So even if the economy is doing good, people are feeling it. And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, people go based on their feelings quite often. It's not about logic. It's not about reasoning or rationale or why are gas prices so high. That's not how people function. People function based on feelings majority of the time. And affordability is going to be the issue. Are things more affordable now than they were 4 years ago? Some people say yes. Some people say no. Why? Because technically it is kind of subjective on somebody's own personal finance. And that's why they call it that, personal finance. Well, we also have this happening here. Feds say previously deported illegal became key link into cartel cash pipeline. So I saw this the other day. I mean, you're talking millions. A previously deported illegal immigrant allegedly ran a $13 million drug money laundering operation through his Oregon barbershop and Mexican grocery stores. The Department of Justice charged Mexican illegal immigrant Jose Alonso Paramo Aguero. Why? Settle down. Why do we always have to do this? Why is it just not first and last name? 45 on March 18th with money laundering. Well, this illegal used his Mexican grocery store in Oregon, along with his barbershop in the state, to transfer the drug funds to Mexico by sending wire transfers of $500 or more, which is a common tactic of drug traffickers, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Oregon. Now, this illegal immigrant allegedly wired more than $7 million to locations in Mexico that are tied to narco trafficking. He was voluntarily removed to Mexico in 2003 after sneaking across the border illegally. The Department of Homeland Security told the Daily Wire he later returned at an unknown time, without getting caught. I wonder when that was. Anybody want to take a guess? He was issued a voluntary return in 2003 and chose to commit a felony by illegally re-entering the United States. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has since logged a detainer with the U.S. Marshal Service to ensure he's never released. Under the President Trump and Secretary Mullen, we will not allow drug trafficking to profit off deleting our children and grandchildren. The illegal immigrant allegedly laundered more than $45,000 in what he believed were drug trafficking profits provided by the informant. Okay. So we have that going. And by the way, this is happening all the time. There was a story we did, was it 3 years ago or more, where there was so much money being sent back to these other countries from illegal immigrants in the United States that it was actually starting to inflate the local economies of the place of where these illegal immigrants are at, or where their families are at in said country, to where even the housing prices started to boom. And now all these illegal immigrants that were making money here in the United States and sending it back home, well, now they were out competing everybody else in that area. And it started having effects on the local areas of different countries. And that's how bad it's gotten. I don't need to tell you guys that. You all know that. But I always have to give myself on the pat on the self. Wow, geez. Hold on a second. Let me take a swig of coffee. My brain isn't wired correctly today. I got to give myself a pat on the back. See, coffee is the nature's medicine for the morning. Because, and I always love to rub this in, I really do. I was right. I said illegal immigration is going to be a problem for the whole country and no longer is going to be for the border states. And because it's always been a problem for the border states like California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Florida, blah, 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 for so long, because that's where they stayed. They didn't, and it wasn't to the point where people were just, getting free bus rides everywhere and having the president fly into the interior of the country. I get it. Everyone's like, no. It's your problem, not mine. And I was like, no, you don't understand. It's bad. Oh, it's bad. And it's going to be affecting you. And now people are being murdered all over the United States by illegal immigrants because it's bad. So what do we got going on in the chat here really quick? Let's just take a little peek, see what you guys are doing. Is it still going up in California? Yeah, it is. I mean, it's going up everywhere, but yeah, not to the extent that it was previously, but like 3 cents here, 4 cents there. China is the biggest polluter in the world. That is correct. Shipping and trucking control the prices for goods. Yeah, there's definitely truth to that. The reason why I say is, there's a lot of variables that go into the prices of goods and services, not just shipping and trucking, but they definitely have a lot of control. That's for sure. Alrighty, where are we at here? Let's get to X and see what's trending really quickly. There's a couple things I think I retweeted yesterday. Hold on, give me a second here. Here we go. California is sitting on 600 million barrels of oil locked up for over a decade. Here we go.
Welcome to the platform Harmony. It's one of the 3 rigs owned by Sable, and it's where the whole process begins. Oil flows up from the well, and it's pumped to shore. This field is home to more than 600 million barrels of oil trapped for 11 years. It's home to the biggest oil reserve remaining on federal lands, this field. The crude oil then goes from this platform through the pipeline to the Las Flores Canyon processing plant. Jay Caldwell Flores, the chief operating officer and president of Sable, took us through the process. What are we looking at exactly here?
We're walking through the Las Flores Canyon pipeline station. So this is where we ship 60,000 barrels of oil a day through that pump there into the...
Wait. How many?
60,000 barrels a day. Of processed crude going down to El Segundo refinery that's owned by Chevron.
When's the last time El Segundo refinery had that much oil running through it?
It has a good number of couple hundred thousand barrels, but this is a significant portion, and they have not had our crude in over 11 years.
So
they haven't had crude in 11 years.
Your crude hasn't gone through because of all the litigation.
Correct.
And everything else.
Yes.
In 2024, Sable purchased ExxonMobil's Santa Barbara offshore assets in an effort to restart the Santa Ynez pipeline.
I want to go back here for a second. I need you to look at your screen. You see that there? You see that thing out there in the ocean? They're on the coast here. Is it an eyesore? Sure. It is. I'll admit it. These suckers used to be everywhere out there. There's just something you looked at. It was American gold, baby.
The Santa Ynez
Now you see one here or there.
pipeline. It was shut down in 2015 due to the Refugio oil spill. How many employees here making all this happen?
Oh, a couple hundred. So
what do you do when you spill something, folks? You leave it there, you clean it up. You clean it up. It's terrible. It's not good for the environment. I admit it. But you clean it up and you build another one. You learn from your mistakes. Why was there a spilly? Was I just being lazy? Okay. How can I stop this from happening again? You learn, you make things more efficient, more better. Build more.
about almost 300 employees on site.
How many during the 11-year hiatus?
40. And they were in a stasis, almost Stockholm Syndrome, PTSD of this will never happen. Tears flowed the days we opened the pipeline.
People were crying because they were so happy that they actually had jobs again.
They had jobs, they had careers, longevity to look forward to, and they've been sitting in stasis for 11 years.
California was once an...
Well, what were those 40 people doing? I mean, that's not a bad gig. For 11 years to get paid not to do anything? That can't be right. That's way too simplified. I'm missing something. They had to be doing something, right? Like polishing the grass. They had to be doing something.
Energy powerhouse, dominant in oil production. Back in 1985, California was producing 1.1 million barrels of oil every day.
Let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at that. That is Long Beach, California. I went through, look, folks, I know Long Beach. I know Long Beach, okay? Went to school. I went to college in Long Beach. I went to Long Beach State. I know Long Beach. 1952, this is what it looked like. Now, I'm not asking for this. This is a little rough. But I told you, man, these suckers were in everyone's backyards. Drill, baby, drill.
It was fulfilling 60% of its own oil supply. But by 2020, that had dropped down to a paltry 25%.
Yeah.
Now, California mostly relies on foreign oil that's imported via ship. That had dropped down to a paltry 25%. Now, California mostly relies on foreign oil that's imported via ship.
Oh, but what about the fossil fuels? I was told air pollutants. All these whack job lefties, it's what they say. It's not what I'm saying. What they say is, no, we don't want all this drilling. We need special blends and all this stuff because of polluting. I want clean air. I'd rather pay for clean air. Okay, whack jobs. You're bringing in stuff from across the globe, assholes. What do you mean clean air and you're all about the environment? I'm talking about fishes. The birds, the planes. We need to get rid of the planes, but the birds will keep will help. What about them? When you're bringing almost all your oil over here from, again, hello, from across the globe, it would actually be less polluting to do it here. Let me know if I'm making sense. I'm dumbfounded. I think we're all dumbfounded here. It's always the quiet. It's always the stupidest people, the dumbest people that are the loudest. I need to bring clean air.
It only gets 16% of its oil from Alaska. So what happened?
Idiots. That's what happened. Yeah. The idiots formed their own coalition called the left, and now we got to deal with their shenanigans. Yeah. It aggravates you, man. Yeah, hello, McFly. Hello. What else we got here? Hold on a second. We got James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe gets emotional. Where he snapped on the live stream, he's pissed at the DOJ for not making a single arrest after he exposed blatant voter fraud on camera in California. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. It's very frustrating. I'm going to take my camera off in a moment because I don't want it to block James O'Keefe. Or maybe I could just go in the middle of both of them. Hey, boys, what's up? Thanks for letting me join the party.
You have people potentially flipping on the higher-ups. Who are the higher-ups? What does your gut tell you?
Well, right now, I have people in the field.
The money's coming from somewhere.
Yes, it is.
You know, and it's a lot of money. Even if it's $5 per signature to a homeless person, there's like suitcases of hundreds of thousands of dollars where the $5 comes from, right?
That's correct. You got a huge audience. So if I say what it is right now, it might hurt my ability over the next few days to continue getting it. But
of course,
there's petitioners and there's coordinators, and it appears as though this is like organized crime.
Yeah.
And the thing about organized crime is it's extremely dangerous. So you could have gangs involved in this.
Uh-huh.
There are companies that do this, but they're criminal actions. So there's out-of-state people that come into California. They make a lot of money. And we've been given the names of those companies, and we're currently tracking them down. But yeah, James O'Keefe and Cam Higbee and Savannah Hernandez and Anthony Rubin and John Cho has a report out today. We are going to find the higher-ups and expose them. But I think the question we have to ask ourselves is, without accountability, what does it matter? What does it matter? If no one is held...
Isn't that exactly, again, what we keep bringing up? Nobody's ever held accountable. We always are. Like the actual rule followers, that when we break a rule, somehow we're like held to like the highest standard of accountability. But the people that are like just loving the crime, they're addicted to just committing fraud. For some reason, nothing ever happens to them. You stumble once in your life, you're gone for like the maximum. The dude that's been doing it forever, nothing happens to him.
Accountable, bringing it to I guess the question for your audience is a rhetorical question. Do you want me to continue doing this? Do you want me to continue exposing it? Does it even matter? I mean, that's a rhetorical question. I'm not going to answer that because I can stop. I can give up. I can retire. But I'm not going to put my life in harm's way and my people's life, because they were almost killed.
Yeah.
For nothing.
He's right.
It's not worth it. I think you would agree with that. So I can go away. I can be on a sabbatical until someone is arrested. But I'm not going to put my people's life in danger every week for nothing to happen. That's honest. I'm just being vulnerable and transparent with the world. I'm not going to get killed. I saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. I don't want to die. I need to stay on this earth to keep exposing the truth. So I can go on vacation. I can go away. And when y'all are going to arrest somebody, I'll come back. Because I'll tell you what, getting punched in the neck, having nobody get arrested, it's not right. It's immoral is what it is. And the Republicans are in power. The Attorney General of the United States has the jurisdiction to arrest someone tomorrow. I haven't seen any statements on the internet or on Fox News or anywhere else about this. And I frankly, I get there's egos involved, but I think it's a form of cowardice. I'm glad the president is talking about it. I think he should continue to talk about it. And I will continue to keep releasing videos this week. But I'm pissed off. And I'm pissed off because my friend and my closest colleague was violently assaulted and came an inch from we came an inch from losing our lives. Knives and guns there. And I need something to happen. I really need something to happen. Otherwise, I'm going to have to stop doing what I'm doing. And I don't know what else to say.
You want, like, kudos to him for sticking with it, because I'm not one to deal with that stuff. I am one where you don't want to listen. I'm exposing all this stuff. I'm the one that's paying the price for it, or definitely could be paying the ultimate price. I'm good. I'm done. Peace out. And just go live your life. For some reason, things have turned into somebody caring more about something than somebody else, where everybody should be caring about what's going on and wanting something to be done. And it never has, and it never is. And it's not going to. I don't think anything's going to change. If something was going to change, it would have happened already. James O'Keefe talks to the president. So if things aren't, and here's the issue is we keep looking at the federal government for things. This is definitely something the federal government can step into. But we also need to be looking at a state level and a local level for handling these types of things. I think we're going to the president, we're going to the DOJ far too much. I'm not saying that this shouldn't be going to them. That's not what I'm saying. But there are definitely things that the states can be doing. They're not doing it. I mean, you're really seeing the collapse of the whole system here. But if I was James O'Keefe, I wouldn't do it, man. That's just my 2 cents. I've been on Project Veritas for like 10 seconds. If you're still listening, man, it's not worth your life, dude. We would rather have you reporting on something else. You do great stuff, not putting your employees' lives at risk for something that, honestly, the federal government doesn't care. Republicans don't really care. We want something to be done, but if they're not going to do anything, I'd rather have you around for something to come off in the future. And I would just get out of there. It's not going to do anything. They're really not going to do anything. I understand his frustration. Oh, there has to be really just big frustration with something like that, where especially when it's your own side that's in power, dude. That's the rough part. And you hang out with all these people. I use hang out loosely. But it's not like you're not going to, I mean, there's video of him talking to the president, shaking hands with the president. It's like Trump knows this stuff's going on. I mean, he put JD in a position to handle it, and maybe something will be done with JD there. I just don't think so. Like, for example, you don't really hear much about Tom Homan going into places anymore and just deporting people. And I don't know if it's because midterms coming up and trying to be light on it, or just the news cycle's changed and it's still going on. We're just not hearing about it as much. I don't know. But things seem to be kind of like the foot kind of keeps. Does it seem like the foot is kind of coming off the pedal a little bit? I want to know what you guys think in the chat. It seems like that to me, that when we really started, boy, it's like every day was something new. I'm doing this, boom, then Trump's moving over here, then bam, then he's moving over here, then dude, he's doing this. You're like, they didn't know what to do, right? They were running around going, well, I don't know we don't know what to cover. Do we cover this story? Do we push this narrative? Now it just seems like things have really slowed down quite a bit. Yeah, don't hold your breath, because that wouldn't be good. Not with this, huh? Not with this. All righty. Trying to see what we got else here in the news. Give me un momento to roll through some stuff. You know what's always fascinating me? I didn't really know this before, was just how big sports news is. Sports news dominates, believe it or not, trending, social media, stuff like that. I mean, sports, maybe I should turn my show into a sports show, because that's where stuff is bigly trending. People love that stuff, man. Especially it's highly, male dominated. And I always love hanging out with the boys. So maybe we should do instead of a political show, we should be doing a sports show. All right. I mean, it's just all sports stuff. Okay. Especially a lot of the Dodgers baseball season's kicking off. It's just all baseball. Let me go to this for you guys. I'm on X right now if you're curious what I'm doing. Let's do Eric Doherty. If you don't follow Eric Doherty, you should. Let's kind of do a little quick peruse through his page here. Representative Randy Fine just said that many Americans are thinking, I hope ICE stays in our airports. Illegal immigrants should be rounded up and deported wherever they are, even in our airports. Yeah, correct. Correct. Wow, this base young man completely stunned Don Lemon. Let's see.
How do you feel about the war?
I'm Persian, so I support Donald Trump 100%. The Islamic regime kills women. They killed 50,000 people in 2 days. A lot of them believe death in all of Americans. So I fully 100% support Donald Trump.
So you said you're Persian, but there's no imminent threat to the United States, and most people here
I'm biased,
are not.
Right? I'm obviously biased because I'm Persian. And I understand why people wouldn't want war to happen. I understand that fully.
I don't know if you're biased, you just have your opinion. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My dad grew up in Iran.
No, he has complete bias. Are you kidding me? He openly admits it. It's an opinion in some way, shape, or form will always have bias within it. The goal is to try to remove that bias as much as possible. Can you have an opinion? Absolutely. He's acknowledging that he's biased, that he's going to be in favor of it because he's connected to it in some way, shape, or form. Whereas me, I'm not connected to it. I'm not Persian as far as I'm aware. Do I still have a bias? Yeah, I'm pro-American. And maybe there's a pro-American outgrowth of doing this. And I think there is. You want to know what the pro-American side of it is? I get to be a lot safer and not have to worry about terrorist attacks happening because the regime that was funding the terrorist attacks is all gone. Now, could there still be terrorist attacks? Sure, by somebody else, sure, but not from the guys that got blown up because they're dead.
He had to flee the country when he was 14. Again, fully support Donald Trump with the bombing of the supreme leader.
But do you understand how Americans feel that this had nothing to do with us? We're not.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Really? Had nothing to do with us, I guess. Okay. All right.
There's no imminent threat.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Again, I'm Persian, so when I see women who are being killed because they're not wearing the scarf over their head, I feel a connection to that. I mean, that's not right. But I do see what you're saying about America not having anything to do with Iran's problems, but stand with Trump.
What does that mean? No imminent threat. So we're supposed to wait till something happens and then do something? That's what we're supposed to do? Hold on a second. Let me get this logic down really quick. We're supposed to wait till the bad guys build themselves so much that now it's such a threat that we have to go in, but now they're big enough to be able to fight back against us and push back against us in a greater level than they were when they're kind of the small guy, when they were still a threat. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Are you guys getting that vibe? Let's wait till either they do something or wait till they're so big to the point where now we have to focus on them and worry about them. Wouldn't you want to kind of stop the threat before it actually happens? The hell's going on here? Yeah, Miss Mom said it recently. How many terrorist attacks recently? Actually, there's quite a bit. Seems like every week there's something. And that's mind you, imagine the ones that we don't even hear about that you probably have to open up your local newspaper and hear about. And when I say local newspaper, I'm talking about the guys going down with the vans, throwing them out the window on your little, driveway there. I don't know if they still do that for you guys. Do they even do that at all anymore? They're like those local newspapers. You know what I'm talking about? It's like really small and it has the rubber band around it. And they got those guys that will throw it out. Let's see what else we have here. Breaking, an overwhelming new poll just found that Americans view President Trump's Operation Epic Fury as a success by 17 points. Let's get to this here.
Iran finds that 58% of voters think it has been excellent or good. Iran finds that 58% of voters think it has been excellent.
Yeah, but look at those margins of error. Respected margin of error, plus or minus 5%, plus or minus 8%. Plus or minus 6%. 8%'s a lot. I mean, that's a big swing. So that's something you want to open up. I've talked a lot about this. With these polls, the reason why a poll is, you want to take it with a grain of salt. Is it still stuff you can pull from? Of course. But remember how we were just talking about bias? There's always bias in these types of studies because it's, well, how was the question framed? Was the question framed leading to a response bias, meaning it was framed in such a manner that's going to lead to kind of the outcome that you wanted as the researcher? So, for example, maybe I do as Bald Brad. Bald Brad came out with the poll and we found that most people agree that Donald Trump's performance in Iran is good. But the way I worded the question was such a manner that because I'm a pro-Trump person and, I'm registered Republican, that I want my statistic to look good and show the people and manipulate and create a narrative that people are actually in support of Donald Trump. So I could word it in such a way that will elicit a response that will make it seem he's excellent and good. So that's why that's there. Margin of error is calculated something totally different. But anywho, 8% is a little rough. I mean, that's a big swing, huh? All right, let's get to one more thing before everything's over. Oh, there was this, I want to see if I have it. There was this yesterday. Hold on a second. And did you guys see this in Philly? You probably did because you guys are on top of the news. This right here, listen to this. These anti-American protesters.
Until we have done everything in our power to bring the United States to its knees, let us not lose sight of the enemy. For every U.S. military base that crumbles, and for every U.S. soldier who returns home in a casket, we cheer! Hamas, Hezbollah, Ansarallah, all of the resistance forces we celebrate. These popular voices on the ground spend every waking moment in direct confrontation with Zionism, and they rely on a strong Iranian state to maintain their fighting capacity.
Do you hate America? May a Hamas rocket blow up your family's home.
That's why I wrote an entire book called Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. We've been infiltrated. There's enemies here. There's people that hate us and they want to harm you. Check it out on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. That's a book that will always be timely, folks. And that's why I wrote it. That's why I wrote it. It ain't going anywhere. It came out in 2023. It's more timely than ever. Isn't that crazy? We celebrate the death of the American soldiers. That messed up while they're in Philly. This is in Philadelphia. This isn't like over there in Iran or nothing like that, or over there in Gaza or in the Middle East. You know, it's here. We got to put up with this crap. Here's the thing. I would be more than happy to deport this guy and keep an illegal alien that's working, paying his taxes with a family that is having the American flag draped in his home. He's smoking a Trump cigar. You know, he's cleaning his gun, even though he's not supposed to have one because he's illegal. But you know what I mean. He's just a pro-American dude. His cowboy boots are American flags. Keep that guy and give him citizenship. Remove this nut job here in the red sweater. That's what we need. This guy gone, this guy gone, this guy gone, this guy gone, whatever the hell this is, gone, this gone, this gone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 illegal immigrants that love America. They're kissing the soil that they live upon because they're given an opportunity and they want to assimilate. They knew English within a week. You know what I mean? Their kids are already enrolling in the military. Like, they're ready to go, man. They couldn't be more loving America than ever. 7 of them get citizenship. These 7 lose it. There you go. Easy. Problem solved. Problem solved. Do you have a right to criticize America? Absolutely. Absolutely. These people have no intention of assimilating into this country. They hate America. They hate our troops. They hate Donald Trump. They hate Republicans. They hate American. They make Americans. They hate it all. These are the types of people that will allow sleeper cells to live with them. You know what I mean? And then they'll pretend to be super shocked when something happens. Anywho, that is today's episode of the Bald Brad Show. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you for being understanding about yesterday. Wasn't feeling well. But we should be back here tomorrow. If I'm not on by 6:20, you know your boy ain't showing up. Okay. But we're always sometimes a little bit late because we're always late, either waiting on a coffee or I'm rushing from out of the shower or something like that. But I always appreciate you guys hanging in there and joining me every single morning. I hope your week is going well. Missed you guys yesterday, but a lot of news to cover tomorrow as well. There's usually a news dump by this evening, which means we have a lot of stuff to cover. So be there or be square. Also, if you could share my stuff on your social media, I'd really appreciate that as well. If you could repost something or retweet or re-TikTok something, if that's what it's called, would appreciate that. So I always thankful for your help. If you want to head over to baldbrad.com and make a donation, don't feel like you have to. It's just there for those that want to. I will put it in the chat. Literally baldbrad.com. It's the easiest website, baldandbrad.com, baldbrad.com/donate. And, a couple bucks. You can do monthly donation. Some people do $2. It's not uncommon for people to do $2. They feel like they're getting something out of it. $2 a month. You can feed a bald guy. You can do $10. You can do $100 a month. That one's always preferred. The higher, the more zeros is the one that's preferred the most, if you know what I mean. And I got no problem taking these people's money. I got no problem taking your money. Just know that. But just know that it's also going back into what we do here. So appreciate you guys. Alrighty. Well, I got to head to work. Hope you have a lovely day. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for your family. Pray for everybody in the chat. And pray for me, please. Power of prayer is effective. Read your scriptures. Spend some time with your Lord and Savior. And folks, I'll see you tomorrow here on the Bald Brad Show. Take care.